Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kings and queens, welcome to the Return to Black Broadway podcast show. Your boy Ray Gideon Peoplez, aka Peoplez the Dapper Demon Clapper one time, and my main man AJ Throwback in the building talking to you.
Know it.
Listen, we got a special guest tonight. My brother from another mother, activist on the front line for the kingdom one time. King Kali, give it up for King Kali, y'all. Everybody show some love.
What up, everybody?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so we got some awesome things for y'all tonight, man, and we just looking forward to having a great conversation as we have been talking about the Return to Black Broadway movement and the different things and angles and the spheres of influence in a way that we can make impact now that we are tuned back in as a region to the concerns of our region and to the forward progression and the history of what we've already accomplished and overcome. You did. So, real quick, I want to tap in. I know we just popping in. I know some people might be putting the youngins to bed and whatnot. You know, so I don't know. We got anybody in the chat? Everybody in the chat just yet?
Yeah, we got our brother and videographer extraordinaire, Mr. Ramsey Brown, on the check-in. You know what I'm saying? Of course.
What up, Ramsey Brown? What's good with you? What's up?
Yes, indeed. Awesome, amazing brother right there. You know, we had a ball, by the way, this Saturday. You know, filming. That heat we got coming up for y'all. I just want to say that from now on, you know, just stabbing what it is for the culture and for the people and where we are at this point. So yeah, man, appreciate your brother and love and support. Real quick, what I want everybody to do, anybody who's just popping in, what's up to everybody? Please, just so we know and we can show some love to all our viewers and supporters. Tap in one time in the chat and just say where you popping in from. If you're in town, say where you coming from in town. If you're out of town, say where you're from out of town. We want to do a shout out and show love to the people. You ain't got to be a scholar with $1. All you got to do is just tap in and say, hey, what's happening? You did. You know, so yeah, man, as y'all pop in, please show love. Also like, share, post on everybody else's page so that the people who might not know can get in the know. You did.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so while we waiting for people to flow in, Kali, how you doing tonight, good brother?
Hey, my brother Rick Gideon, what's good? People's always chilling. You know what time it is. The unorthodox style street minister King Kali, God's #1 hype man, because I'm always turned up for the good Lord, grinding for God at all times, my brother. You know what it is. Good to see you, man. It's good to see you.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. So I want to kind of jump into some things, man. You know, one of the things that we definitely talk about overall on this show is the various ways that we have established and overcome things historically and culturally, but also we like to address the concerns of what the things that we know have been holding us back from fully manifesting and stabbing at this point in the game as we return back to Black Broadway, which of course represents Black excellence. Word to Black History Month one time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but also, you know, kingdom excellence, as we know the Most High has given us all a purpose and a task to do on this earth to make it a better place before the chapter all closed. You did. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just talk to us a little bit about, you know, I know for anybody who might have peeked the flyer that we put out, in addition to the picture that we had of good brother Kali, we also put the logo for his ministry business. Talk to us about the triangle. Like, what's the triangle about, real quick?
All right, I appreciate that, because a lot of people, you know, they hit or miss when it comes to what I do, because I've been doing so many different things. Like I was saying the other day, I got my hands tied in a lot of different things that I never knew about in life until actually my relationship with God had changed. You know what I mean? And once that had happened in my life, all these different doors started opening up. With that being said, you know, the triangle resource came to me. It's real funny because it was like like a premonition almost, you know what I mean? Or a prophecy, you know, almost like that. The Lord kind of gave me a vision on something. And the triangle actually started off as a higher learning type of mindset. You got to think, I take this thing called REMAP, an acronym, right? REMAP, mindsets, aspects, and perspectives. Each point of the triangle, mindset, aspect, and perspective. You put all three of them together, lay it down, and it comes up into a pyramid. And at the top, it says higher learning. You know what I'm saying? And what this is three different ways that I take mindsets and aspects and perspectives. Because if we can change all three of these things, then we can really start making changes in our generations to come, you know, and so on and so forth. So I call it remapping. So the triangle, that's where it started from right there, was just coming up with an idea of trying to be able to help make differences and changes on outlook and different life and different things. It goes even deeper than that. Because
go ahead.
Yeah, you want me to go ahead, keep going on that?
Definitely. I was going to ask a question, but I think you about to
answer
it.
Come with it.
No, I was just going to ask you it. I feel like there's a deeper pull into something else beyond that.
It goes way further. It goes way further. Look, I ain't gonna let too much out the bag, but I will tell you this much. I'm working on it right now. There is going to be a show, because this is so funny, because you said the triangle is my ministry. You put it up in my ministry logo. All right, so that's another twist that's going to come after all this, because it kind of kept coming in stages. So it came together as a higher learning type of idea to where I could help change mindsets, aspects, and perspectives of generations to come on a whole bunch of different topics. That could be alcoholism, drug addiction. I mean, different things that everybody deal with in their everyday life. You understand? And how I was going to be able to do that was I was going to create a show. And it's gonna be a show. It ain't gonna create a show. It's gonna be created, and the show is gonna be called The Triangle. And what it is gonna be three different people from three different walks of life, right? All right. Each person gonna be at each point of the triangle. I'm gonna be in the middle. They're gonna have maybe 5 to 10 minute spills, 5, 10, 15, maybe 10, 20, 30, all the way around the board about how their mindset, aspect, and perspective was about the topic of that show that day. So say the topic is alcoholism. I'm gonna have three different brothers from three different walks of life that are either one recovered, struggling with it right now, or whatever it is, and we're gonna have a show. That's gonna be episode 1. We're gonna run this all the way, this 9 episodes, and boom, we're gonna have them all on film so people out there can watch from three different people from three different walks of life of how they changed their mindset, their aspect, and perspectives towards the topic. And that could just be episode 1. Episode 2 gonna be barbershop wars. I got 3 brothers that did a lot of time, got locked up with streets. One got his license in the penitentiary. So I'm gonna give you 3 different people from 3 different walks of life, the 3 different barbers, 3 different barbershop owners, and how they got to that point where they was in their life, and record that and put that. That's episode 2, and I'm gonna run it down, and that's called The Triangle. All right, coming to you very, very soon. So that's like a talk show. It's almost gonna be like a talk show.
That's dope, bro.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, it's going live. Y'all here? I'm stamping it right now. The Triangle Resource, trademark and all. That's gonna be mine. You ain't gonna be able to touch it, get it. It goes.
Yeah. Real quick, let me back my brother up on that stamp. Y'all know y'all seen this fly popping around with this triangle on, and don't even play games with it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Listen, my brother already got the ideas already in the airwaves. Ain't nobody touching it. That belongs to him and God. Stop playing games.
That's right.
Just jump in on the move and rock with it. Don't try to steal it.
So with that being said, I appreciate stamping that. And so I'm going to come back with this like that. Coming to a TV or airway or a hand phone near you is going to be a news TV talk show / video live TV podcast show, whatever it's called The Triangle. 3 different individuals from 3 different walks of life trying to remap, y'all. We're changing things.
Right. Yeah, now speak to it real quick. Say for the people again, say those 3 areas that you touched on, because there's something in there, and I'm gonna speak on that maybe in a little bit. But it's hey, what's going on, Lady Carly in the building one time?
What's going on,
Queen?
Sis?
Appreciate you
coming out.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, those 3 perspectives, because.
With 3 points, 3 points of the triangle, not just 3 points of the triangle.
We had 3 points, I should say, in the triangle, because I feel like those 3 areas that you touched on really drive home as it relates to, I guess, how we as a people focus in on not only our origin, but our journey to manifest greater.
Man, yeah. And I'm doing that just not only for the journey forward for me and the brothers that are in the present time. I'm trying to let this go all the way to send ripples of different type of information, education to people, generations to come, and your average everyday person. Because I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna let the whole cat out the bag, but it's gonna be something behind that even better, my brother. It's gonna be even bigger. That's gonna be able to help brothers and sisters that are struggling with different things in their life, right there, right. It's gonna be right there for them. You know what I mean? This is all given to me for God. He was like, this is how you're gonna be able to help them in a different way. They put that in my thing, but we're gonna start off with the show first, so y'all be staying tuned for the triangle. Push forward a little bit further. So the triangle started that sparked this movement for a minute, and then I started moving around a little bit in my recovery. I'm very transparent about things because I keep this thing. I mean, I created this thing called the BS movement, which is breaking the silence. It's kind of catchy, BS movement. Like, what's that? The BS? Like, yeah, no, it ain't no bull-ish. You know what I'm saying? It's really the breaking the silence, because I suffered in silence for a very long time as a young man, through a lot of different things like early childhood trauma and the man rules. I mean, I talk about these man rules a lot. These man rules be holding the brothers down, holding the brothers back, and they be having all this emotion bottled up, and the next thing they explode and they zap out, or they find an outlet, which is drugs and alcohol and all that other mess that you get yourself into. But that's a whole nother time that we can spit on that.
No, but see, actually, on that point, I want to park right there for a second, because you really spoke to something that, as it relates to Black excellence and as it relates to kingdom excellence, one of the topics that we kind of touched on and from different angles is the makeup of the Black family and our family period as a whole, and some of the things that have either twisted or dissipated or broken or blocked the flow of us being able to be as communal as possible in the way that we build.
I like that.
One of those things is how the attacks of the enemy show up in the natural through way of things that are pressures, societal norms that are not necessarily driven by a divine source, if you will, that cause us to feel downtrodden, cause us to feel broken and disenfranchised. And the way we tend to try to cope with that is through ways that further sabotage our forward progression.
Hey, well, to hit on that piece, because we, go ahead and free flow with a little bit. The man rules, you know what I mean? And that can go to, like you said, we're talking about our people being suppressed and how we can't move forward and grow. And that's just the man rules in all different aspects. Like, you think about it, men don't cry. Men don't do this, men don't do that. We teach that to our youngins from very, very early. Matter of fact, it can go as early as to the womb. I mean, I could take it all away if you want to. So when your baby boy is in the belly and you there barking right there to that baby in that belly, like, you my little young king, you gonna be everything, rah. You don't think this baby hear you in there? He all rowdy in there, jump bumping and moving, right? He get born, next thing he come out there, you roughing him up. You my little king, you my little man, boom, boom. And you pointing that little figures on the wall like LeBron James and all these freaks of nature, and this is what men look like, this is what men. So you putting all this strength in this young man's head, and then you start teaching them rules like men don't cry, you beat them to their body, you make them tough, and they, they don't even know how to express any of this stuff. The expectations is out the roof because you better look like LeBron James, you better be like this, you know what I'm saying, and they don't fulfill these shoes. And I'm trying to not get off topic, but what I'm saying is these man rules hold brothers and sisters down. I mean, because there's women rules too. I mean, it can go as far as back as colors as blue and pink, man. I ain't gonna get too deep with it. But the colors of blue and pink can change everything. You know what I mean? And men, I ain't gonna say have been suppressed from birth, but I can tell you right now, if a baby is born and we don't know the gender, and you wrap that baby in pink, and that baby's a boy, but we don't know it's a baby boy. You wrap him in pink, that baby's gonna be handled differently. It's gonna be touched and cared differently. But you take that little girl that's born and wrap her in blue, now you're gonna handle her a little rougher, you're gonna let her cry a little longer, you know, because it's a boy, he in blue. So these are expectations that are set up on men, and then we punch in the man rules with them. And we got a lot of these young black men, young men of color, just running around here with all of this outlook on how men are supposed to be. Men are supposed to only act like this, and they only supposed to act like that, and they bottling up all these emotions, all this anger, all this up inside, and they look for outlets, and outlets is drugs and alcohol. I mean, this rabbit hole can go so much further. I mean, I could break this thing down to you way deeper than that. But I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna get back, you know.
Nah, you on point, brother. You ain't off topic at all, because again, as it relates to the black family and the family of people of color and families, period. Yeah. When you create these societal pressures, most of which we didn't create, because all of us was born into being taught to us by the generations before us and the generations before us. Mm-hmm. You know, and so, you know, there's certain things that are positive nature we can draw from, but then there's other things like what you highlighted, like who decided that girls have to wear pink in order to be considered girly? Who decided that boys have to wear blue?
Mm-hmm. This is a good way to look at it.
What if Lil Lamont don't like blue? What if Lamont like green? Or what if Lamont likes magenta just because he think it look good on his skin tone?
How many colors? 62 colors in the crayon? All these different colors in the crayon box, with the blue and pink. It's so funny that can determine the difference of how you will be treated, how different things will happen to you. It's so funny, and that's a deep conversation, because that's society as a whole. You know what I mean? And
it's a thing.
The reason why I bring that up is because I'm big on recovery, and I'm big on what happened to me in my life. You know what I'm saying? I just got recovered from 30-some years of alcoholism and drug addiction behind early childhood trauma. And the reason why I bring that in is because through man rules and different things that I was taught, I ain't expressed any of the issues that I had going on in life. I couldn't tell nobody, I didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to express it. So I guess what? I expressed it in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it came out. And that just stuck me into a world of torment when it came to drugs and alcohol. But the reason why I bring that up is because, you know, what happens is there's a breakdown somewhere to where, you know, children look for an outlet or they try to find something. So what I mean is, like, your self-esteem gets broken, something like that gets broken, and kids don't live up to expectations that are put on them through life, because society says we're supposed to live like this, we're supposed to look like that. It's so much pressure on people in general, what the society pumps in our minds mentally to keep us suppressed, because if we don't live up to the expectations, so like for instance, you got your little daughter walking with you through the grocery store. You're not thinking of this child a sponge, right? And she picking up everything she sees. So you walking your daughter through the thing, and guess what? You walk by these In Vogue magazines. All these magazines, all these pictures of what women are supposed to look like. This little girl walking through here. Now, guess what? She might be one out of the 10 little girls that might look like that later in her life. You know what I'm saying? Or she might find out a realization that right there and then she ain't never gonna look like these little girls. Her self-esteem gonna be broke. I'm bringing that up because a lot of our young men out here get their self-esteem broke because they don't live up to the expectations that either the man rules are out there, the society to put on you, or even your father put on you. You know what I'm saying? He put all these expectations, you don't live up to them, and you don't live up to them, then you break yourself down, self-esteem breaks down, and then you go ahead and do what? You either bottle it all up inside and you keep it in, you're going to explode later, or then you're going to let it out and you're going to let it out in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? That's what I always tell everybody. If you don't express your trauma in a positive way, you will guarantee express it in a negative way.
Oh yeah, it's one or the other. It ain't no in between. Yeah. It's either going to come out in a way that's healthy for growth, or it's going to come out in a way that's going to further dig you deeper in that hole. And you also spoke to something else as it relates to pressures. Even for the young men who have grown up with no father in the home, he almost instantly becomes, he's expected in a different kind of way to become the man of the house.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. He ain't ready for all that yet. Got to.
Yeah, so now you have this young boy that's taking on a weight that was not meant for him yet, because he's supposed to take on that weight at the appointed time of manhood. Not when you 5 and you or you 10 years old, and because daddy ain't there for whatever reason, now you expected them to take on a position and a space that you have not even been taught or shown how to mature into.
Right.
So now, you got youngins who are taking on husband and daddy roles before they even learn who they are yet.
Hey, put best friend roles in there too, because a lot of these youngins be having these kids real young, so their babies when they be growing up, they be like their best friend. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole nother thing. Y'all,
they don't be their mother. They don't be their mother, their father. That's my little, they don't be that. I seen a lot of that.
Which, by the way, in a whole different kind of way, in a twisted and even toxic way, it can put almost like a perverted twist on the family dynamic. Because now, instead of baby boy learning how to be a boy that rolls through a rites of passage of how to mature into manhood, he's now trying to play daddy and husband with mama who don't have no man, or worse, baby boy is playing daddy, but if mama is dating other dudes, because the daddy that's the daddy one ain't the daddy, and mama's still looking for somebody to fill the spot that's ready for a man.
Right.
So now you got the son psychologically competing with, well, what does that look like? So now if another dude pops in, he's now trying to take notes from whoever this said dude is that done popped in the picture. Because he don't know how to be a man, but he knows inadvertently there's this weight that's been placed on him to operate in manhood.
Hey, see, man, all of this that you're saying is very valuable, because it is definitely topics that don't get talked about a lot that really hold our people back. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody too focused on maybe not being able to get the opportunities other people get, and this and this, but we don't look at the psychological or the mental pieces that we kind of overlook, of just different ways that we are kind of shown by society we should live and all of that. That stuff, you know what I mean, really, really changes and suppresses us as people, man. And I'm glad we're able to talk about that. The transparency of it all is great. So I hope the pieces that I shared was going to be used in educational purposes to be able to help brothers and sisters, spread the knowledge on how we can probably break these cycles and break these chains, different ones that are out there. They always say you ain't got to put nobody in shackles to keep them in bondage. You just got to take their mind. You know what I mean? So we got to change the mindset, the aspect, and perspective. And I'm glad I said that, because back to the triangle. I got to catch it back up, because people need to know what the triangle is. I don't really talk about it a lot. We already know that what we say is an upcoming talk show, like I said, coming up, live video podcast TV show called The Triangle. It's going to be coming very soon. Then I also told you it was just an uplifting thing, and I thought that we'd be able to use to send information to generations to come, how to remap, changing mindsets, aspects, and perspectives. All 3 points put together, guess what we got? We got higher learning. All right, and that's what I'm trying to push. Then it moved in a little further, and I got into, like I said, my recovery. And as my recovery, my relationship with God started to heal even more and more, I started speaking a little bit, and the BS movement was created. And after I broke the silence for the first time, I got to give a shout out to Queen Afi and Domestic Violence Wears Many Tags, that whole mental aspect, mental portion of mental health advocacy out there grinding. She helped me break the silence, and I spoke on a safe space for men segment, and I felt really good, because I do remember in recovery, I was talking a lot in there too, so I went ahead and agreed with it. And then she had me speak in public one more time, like behind that. And after that, it just, boom, it transpired to moving into what I could really do. And this is part of my testimony, not to get into it too much, but this part of the triangle came because the Spirit came to me and told me that now that I had found God in my life and I found my sobriety, but how could I prove to my children and prove to my family and mother, the people that I really truly hurt? I gotta always put this piece in. I'm sorry, but
you good, brother. Yeah, talk
right.
about it. This is helping us as a people heal and learn how to actually be healthy family and healthy community and all of that. Absolutely. Go ahead.
So real quick, drugs and alcohol, y'all, it's a progressive disease. All right, it's a progressive disease that will either kill you, end you up in a mental institution, or incarcerated for the rest of your life. And the only difference between the two, between alcoholism and drug addiction, is one, crack is whack, it kills you like that. Alcoholism will drag you and your family out for 30 years, and then you'll have the end result. That's how terrible that is. I always got to put that piece in there because it's that difficult that I went through that, man. And it really, it was hard for me to go through that. But to get to it, what I was saying, and how the Triangle Resource was formed, because now it's the Triangle Resource, which is a community resource with different outlets. And I'm about to tell you where this came from. Is the Spirit came to me as I was in my recovery, and it asked me and told me, if anything was to happen to you right now, you was to pass away, how would your children, your father, how would them all know for sure that one, you beat your alcoholism, and two, you gave yourself back to Christ? How would they really know that? And I had to think, and I was like, man, what could I do? I grabbed my little 9-year-old son at the time, and I grabbed him by his arm. We went straight to the store, and we went and bought a lot of food, a lot of ham, turkey, cheese, bread, all these chips, snacks. Took him right to the house. The Spirit guided me the whole way. Man, we took him right to the house, and we sacked and bagged up all these lunches, all these big bags of lunches, and we went straight downtown and found myself out at the CCMB, never been there before, just guided my way and landed outside the homeless shelter. And when I took that first bag and I handed it to that first homie, I don't call them homeless, I handed it to that first homie, it's like I seen the Lord's face in that person's face. It's like I seen the Lord right there. Boom, it hit me. It hit me so hard, I was like, boom, this is it. This is it. And that's when Operation Love the Homies came in. Me being a military man, I have an operation mindset. So I was like, this is it. This is what I do. You know, I already been feeding, man. God has already been preparing me and working me for all this. I just never knew. I'm a mass quantity chef for the United States Army. I still work for the DOD. I'm a mass quantity feeder. This is what I do. So when I gave that bag to that person, and I seen the Lord, like the vision of the light right there in his face, and it gave me my message, my sign. That's when the Triangle Resource was created, and that's the Operation Love the Homies. And that's the third other piece that comes with this, which is my philanthropy team, my philanthropy work. So that's the triangle. When you see the triangle, you know the triangle is about to go feed some homies. The triangle about to find some way to get some clothes, some donations, some of this, some of that. And then that even moved even further. And as I started to grow even more, I walked into ministry and started walking down ministry lane and picked up and became a licensed minister under Kingdom Life Outreach Center Ministries under Reverend Dr. Overseer Ann Cole. And that's where all the Triangle Resource Ministries, Operation Little Homies Ministry, all that came from. That's all in a nutshell right there, my brother. That's what the triangle is right there.
Yeah, well, listen, that's powerful stuff, brother, because you're speaking to areas of our spheres of influence in the community that start with who we are at home. You know, you taking a step and following the Spirit to just do something in the community with your son, that is a memory that he will have for the rest of his life.
I seen it. I seen it in his face when I took back. Hey, man, Ray, listen, Ray, man, when I gave that bag to that person, I looked back, the look on my son's face, be like, oh, my dad different for real. He was like different for real. And confirmation came months later where I got word that one of them, and I didn't even know my son really viewed me like that, but I knew that. I thought just because he was young, he wasn't paying attention to all the stuff that I was doing, like all the alcohol, all the drinking, and all the, the hustling and all that stuff. I mean, because I thought he was just real young. But he made a comment to somebody I knew, and he was like, "This person didn't even know me," but he had told them just innocently from a child's 9-year-old mind, and said, "My dad's not a bad, evil person anymore." You know what I'm saying? And that person came from nowhere and came out of nowhere, was like, "I don't know you. Blah, blah, blah. Man, look at what your little son just told me, XYZ. Man, he just told me you're not a bad person anymore. I just figured you might want to know that." Man, that was confirmation that, boom, he knows Christ has then came into my life. He see the change. He know that I don't walk like that no more, man. So God is great, man. That's all I got to say. I had to throw that in there.
That's awesome, because what you just did was sever a generational tie that the enemy was trying to eventually attach to your son.
Woo! Talk to him, brother.
Hear me.
Peep
I'm saying
gang.
that, and that ain't just for
Peep
you.
gang.
That's for everybody. But I specifically felt led to bring that up for you because what happens is if we don't recognize it in our generation, and then create new habits and ways of showing our children by our demonstration a different perspective, aspect, and mindset. What happens is that there's then an opening for that same thing to transfer to your children, except for by the time it hits them, it's even more intense.
Talk about it, brother. Talk about it. Yep. Talk about it. Hey, I want to real quickly get on the topic that you was talking about earlier. There's a few things that you said you wanted to hit on. First off, man, like, appreciate you both. I didn't get to thank you both together at the same time by having me on y'all's podcast here tonight. The music part of things, because I know that the Return to Black Broadway podcast has a lot to do with U Street, and the music and the culture and stuff like that. And to bring that in with what we're doing, is I like to appreciate you first, Ray, with your music. It's hitting me different these days. I'm definitely got it running on the playlist nonstop these days.
Oh man, I appreciate that, brother. That's
definitely.
That's a blessing.
But with that being said, is you were saying different things that we could say to each other to help us get out of this mode of holding each other back. Is that the DMV is got this whole persona of being known for hating on each other and not wanting to see another brother make it out here. I don't know why it's been seen like that. It's like they don't really uplift a lot of people like that. So I would just say I always stay on top of the sound small and share, subscribe, support, tag, comment, all that. But man, that stuff is really, really where it's at. Like if we can't spread the message, one, we already know through keeping your mouth shut through the BS movement. Like keeping your mouth shut, ain't nobody gonna learn nothing from you at all if you keep your mouth shut. And then how are we gonna get the information that's really out there amongst the whole broader people? Because the internet is so big, it can reach so many people. But if it ain't going no further than 2-3 people sharing your stuff, I just think as us as a whole, you might not even know nobody. You should just go to somebody's page. You think they're doing something positive, man, share it on your page. Mm-hmm. Like what's wrong with that? Like you could go on anybody's feed right now and say, man, this brother doing something positive. I'm gonna share it on my page. You know what I'm saying? Boom. You just gave him an outlet to where all your followers are now going to see this man doing something positive. 1 out of 10 people might be like, yo, I really want to see what he about. And I really want to help this brother out. You know what I'm saying? I want to uplift this brother too. And if we can get more in the mindset like that and change our mindset, our aspect and perspective on how we uplift and share each other's, work and what we doing out here, you know what I mean? I think that we could definitely help start shifting that one of those barriers that's there too, my brother. I just want to throw that out there. And then the musical side is what I was getting at, and I'm gonna let you go on that first.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a large portion of everything you're speaking on is why we started this whole movement and initiative. Is because the thing about U3, aka Black Broadway, is that no matter what part of the region you were from when we were growing up, and then dating all the way back to our parents and grandparents and so on and so forth, like, so one spot we all as a people were able to come. When I say as a people, I'm talking about people of color, black and brown folk. Nothing against others. Any others of you that's watching, listen, we love y'all in the spirit of God, but right now we're talking about our issues. We gotta get free as a people, so we can catch up.
That's right.
So, there is a need to acknowledge not only that we're trailblazers and trendsetters, but then some of what has at times stunted our growth as a region is just as much progression we made with setting trends. We have not been able to fully I guess, for lack of a better term, capitalize on the fact that we have such a value that is undervalued by our own people. But part of that is because, we don't believe that we belong to nothing. DC is like the place to be to all our cousins in Maryland and Virginia and the surrounding areas. But it's like we know it, but we don't know it at the same time.
I can understand that.
It's like when somebody come for us, oh, then we know it. Like, hold up, what's up? DC. But right up under our nose, our mindset and the aspect in which we perceive things is one of an orphan.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that. That's a good way to look at those things right there.
So what we are doing in this initiative, by coming together, unifying, by addressing the drugs and the violence and the mindsets and the mental health, and even utilizing, as you said, the music, the arts, because the arts is one of the things that has the ability to enter your psyche without your permission.
For sure.
Word to, you ever been walking down the street singing this song? Like, man, why am I singing that? I don't even like that thing.
Right.
Because by the time you even realize you singing along, it's already inside.
You're right.
So the power of the arts and the power of true identity, meaning understand who we are, knowledge of self, which is knowledge of the Most High, knowledge of, the power that comes through reconciliation that's been given to us through Yahshua and through all the other things that God has placed on this earth to help us manifest and heal and grow and thrive. We were not made to, hear me, we were not made to just survive. Survival is the lowest form of human existence. So if our movement is based on survival alone, we will always self-sabotage our forward progression.
No, I know that's right.
So topics like these and things you're addressing in your initiative in the triangle and the things you're doing and things you're sharing speaks to such a thing as it relates to Black Broadway and Black excellence and kingdom excellence and this the ability to rise above and shift the situation. Now, one of the things we have going on right now is the whole town has been lit because everybody is starting to catch on. That is intentional because God has been tapping different people like yourself and me and AJ and others on the show that said, hey, let's get back to the program. It's time now. Let's go.
I hear that.
Because there was a point in DC where there was a momentum of such building. And then, how do I put this? Oh, we got my man Joey Blessings popped in the building. Also,
what's good?
Yeah, yes. What's happening, good brother? Peace and blessings, King. Also we had a few other folk that jumped in. We really appreciate y'all.
Yeah, what's up with everybody?
Yeah, so one of the things that we have to recognize is that all of these things that we're talking about are part of the solutions to set a new wave of rebirth and renaissance and renewal in our ability to come together and stamp this region for the Most High and for the culture.
For sure.
Period. It's time. If y'all been wondering whether or not, no, it's time. Don't wonder. Don't guess. No more question marks right now.
Yeah, man, no doubt.
So real quick, before we continue on this conversation, I just want to shift gears for a moment. Again, if you're just tapping in with us, much love to everybody that's hopped on. Please take a moment to share in the chat where you're tapping in from. If you're from out of town, say where you're coming from. If you're in town, say where you're coming from. You dig? We like to show love to the people. Also, I just want to ask real quick, AJ, do we have, I've seen a couple of comments popping up, but just want to tap in with the people, and engage y'all real quick in what y'all thoughts have been on these topics that we've been discussing thus far.
Yeah, definitely want to make sure that I've been showing the comments periodically, but just to show some love to people who've been tapped in with us most of the time, if not the entire time. I guess this is Kima Bibbins.
That's my sister right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's
going on? Shout out.
On, sis? Appreciate you popping in with us.
Yeah. So she was tapping in when Brother Kali was talking about the BS movement. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So, BS movement. Hashtag that, y'all. Hashtag that. BS movement. Follow that.
Absolutely. And then shout out to Rico's the Boss on the check-in as well. I'm trying to see if I can pull up this comment. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Said they creating little sons husbands. Sons be jealous of new dudes and mom's life oftentimes. Going back to
what you were talking about, Ray.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Of course, our brother Ramsey Brown, he been tapped in what it said, learning how to build and maintain healthy relationships. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then when we were just talking about momentarily, a moment ago, Lady Carly said, great point. Share and support one another. You know, when it comes down to really just breaking that cycle, breaking that chain of I kind of sort of have, I've seen it. I see it as a bit of a myth, because if you really are in the movement, if you're out in if you're off the porch, so to say, I feel like there is a lot of support. Like, I know, I mean, it all depends on who you move with, but I also feel like, one, that is a huge, like my brother said, that is a huge amount of the reason for this movement is to encourage more unity, and two, to kind of sort of go across the aisle, so to say, because sometimes what happens is there's silos in the DMV where certain people support their crew, other people support their crew, and a lot of times it's not always encouraged to, hey, go across the aisle, support them over there that you ain't never rubbed elbows with, and you know what I'm saying, support what they doing, you know. So like that's why I appreciate what you were saying in terms of why it's so important just to support people, just because, like, it doesn't have to be a rhyme or a reason to it. If you fool with what somebody's doing, just do it, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then you know, our brother Joey blessed with another comment. Let's see if the comment actually pull up. Give me 1 second. He says, salute kings, big respect, brother. Talking about Ramsey Brown, you know what I'm saying, our brother in the comments and everything. So yeah, that's who's been tapped in with us so far, and we appreciate everybody for tuning in for this awesome episode of the Return to Black Broadway podcast so far, because we got more.
Yes, indeed. Now, right here on, while we're in this space of everything we've been talking about, I'm gonna take this time now. Okay, Elk Ridge is always by way of the planet Sea Pleasant.
Sea Pleasant.
Yes, yes, Sea Pleasant. Which, by the way, on a side note, in addition to some other things we already got loaded up in the chamber, we got, man, listen, we got ammunition for days. We ain't gonna run out for a while, y'all. Just want to let y'all know, we ain't gonna run out for a while. Y'all might stick around for the whole journey, because we're gonna keep bringing it. So, speaking of Joy Bless and speaking of unity and the different things in the regions, like one of the things, actually I was on the phone with Joe yesterday offline, because we got something that we cooking up as one of the other singles coming for the R2BB soundtrack, by the way. And me, speaking of just brothers coming together and teaching our youth, our young boys, you know, we were having a conversation with me, himself, and his son. We call him Young Lion, but he's also a fellow MC. Speaking of a father training his child, because if y'all ever heard Joey Bless, the brother is nasty on the rhymes, and he's speaking that truth to power. Another fellow believer of the kingdom, and also just a father that I personally respect. You know, a husband and a father that represents Black excellence and kingdom excellence in the way that I've seen him do what he does. And his son is now an MC himself, and I can see, even as we were on Zoom with each other or on FaceTime with each other, all three of us, and we were discussing our plans for the song and different things, but we were also discussing, you know, the progression of how we connect the generations. You know what I'm saying? Because Joe is my big bro, because he's older than me. I'm in the middle, and then his son is the youngest in his 20s. So you got three age brackets there, and two generations that are covered just in the way that we are interacting, talking, and building, and sharing things. And both of us just sharing wisdom and gems with baby boy about the progression of different aspects of manhood and art and culture, and you know how we establish the thing, and even how we establish a different level of understanding about who we are. And I remember Joe expressing some things to his son, and he was encouraging him, like, you know, because I was amazed at his son's lyrics. Anybody who knows me knows I have a very high standard for lyricism because I came from an era where you got to have bars. So I'm listening to his bars, and this young dude is speaking so much wisdom and knowledge. But as I'm listening to Joe speak to him and encouraging him in that, he's like, see, I told you, son, you got it. So you got a father encouraging his son in what he's been grooming him to understand and helping him cultivate what the father could have vision to see in him. But in order to have vision to see into your children, you have to have vision to see into who you are. Because you can't give yourself your kids something that you ain't got.
That's right.
So I just wanted to touch on that, by the way. That was a side note. So in the spirit of that, though, one of the other songs that we've been working on, I want to highlight right now. So this going to be the time right in this moment right here. Oh, man, shalom and blessings, brother. I meant every single word of it straight from the heart, for real. You know what I mean? And so we're going to use this time real quick to take a pause on the combo and just spice it up, you know what I'm saying, show some love. We're going to throw that sneaky peeky at y'all real quick. For those of y'all, you know, we played a little snippet of it a while back when we first started, but for those who ain't catch it, plus it's going to be coming up real soon. You know, right behind us from now on, we finna drop, oh, by the way. I can't wait for y'all to catch that heat. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and drop this muscle crank for the sneaky peeky of the wiki one time. You know, listen to the music and the art, because what we all been talking about today is being expressed, you know, in there. Shout out to Cash Aminos from our Kent land, Uptown Shane, who is a sister queen from Uptown, you know what I'm saying, and myself and brother Reese the Realist from Glenard. So we got the South Side, we got Uptown, and we got Glenard and Kentland all on one song, which, by the way, if you know anything about the history of DC, that would have never happened back then.
Wow.
So we breaking barriers and chains just by unifying in the way we're doing as a people, and kings and queens are represented on this song. So here we go. Without further ado, sneaky peek of the wiki, muscle crank.
Yeah.
I'm playing chess, not checkers. Look at what life is measured. Keep it like couple of better. Putting myself in position to get it. On this pivot, man, I know I'm a menace. Man, I focus, you just give me a minute. Steady pacing, man, I am not racing, yeah. What's this chasing, the person I chase? When I'm wicked, I get to the paper. When I get to the trap, when I did. Yeah. Ain't no waiting, man, I ain't debating. And it's something to say, and I'm saying it. She got my hits in the playlist. I'm cooking up, this is a made dish. I get what I want on a first time basis. When I pop out, I made the label. Yeah, stack it up full life savings. And to be honest, I got to a lady. She be gigging, she got a crazy.
Yeah.
It's strictly business. Go, she really up in. Look, her flow is endless. Her spiny resting. She moving weight. Nickname her Shane Metric. Lord, y'all stand corrected. Listen, she murdered them with love. Call her Shane. All the hustlers, they died, but I got it with me. She hears the light. She's the female. Is the Christ. Good God is the Christ. She's protected and that's understood. Used to see Big G posted in the hood. See, God will always align her revolutionary. Good God, hear me. And you would not be able to stay home, brother. And you would not be able to be undercover. Go. She willing to give you niggas some kitty if y'all willing to go to war. Good God. West and strong, we're transform no life,
Yes, indeed.
give him
That
the whole
was
thing.
A little sneaky peeky at a muscle crank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Feeling that.
Are you rocking with that, brother?
Man,
Hey, everybody in the
anything
chat,
you want, man. I'm with that, Ray. I'm trusting you.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, everybody in the chat, man, give us a thumbs up, a thumbs down, whether you like it or you don't so far. You know what I'm saying? Fire emojis, whatever. Give some comments on what you felt about what that little sneak we just gave y'all. You know what I'm saying? We like to hear positive feedback, or even if it's constructive feedback. Whatever you like, whatever you don't, whatever you're feeling, whatever you hear, whatever you're inspired by, we want to share it all. Yeah. Oh, and we got my man DJ Shane in the building one time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way, y'all ain't even know. We got Shane about to hop on. Oh, my man Joey said that joint was fuego. Oh, yes indeed. Rockets, love it. Yes indeed. So yeah, man. We looking forward to in the very near future, we gonna have brother, speaking of DJ Shane, one of the dopest DJs, you know what I'm saying, that's from our town.
Yes,
Did
sir.
I say it? From our town? Yes indeed. Can't wait to have you on the show, good brother. We look forward to that episode as well, coming up at y'all real soon, you know what I'm saying, in the room. So yeah, definitely. Okay, so at this time now, before we roll on into, you know, some other pieces, yes, the Triangle Resource. Love it. Love it. Before we move on into a couple other pieces to this combo we've been having, we're going to hop into this next segment, you know, word to the arts, you know what I'm saying? We're going to slide to that real quick. And then after this, we gonna get into some of the events that we got coming up.
Yeah.
That highlight,
you
know, how you bring the community empowerment and the spiritual empowerment and the arts empowerment all together. The threes.
Yeah,
all
we got
together.
something for them. We got something for them. We definitely got to hit on that.
Mindsets, aspects, and perspectives. Yes, indeed. All right, so a little something to stretch your brain real quick. We're going to pull up this time frame. This is like what we like to do, a little game to engage our audience in a different way. So we like to call this guess what the instrument is. You know what I mean? So we're going to play a track for y'all. And then we want y'all to jump in and tell us what you think you hear. Do you hear bass? Do you hear drums? Do you hear guitars? Do you hear tambourine, flutes, horns, singing, whatever? Whatever you feel like you catching. We want to see if y'all can tap in and pull it out. You know what I mean? Just, you know, stretch the grooves on our mind just a little bit. And, you know, have a little fun while we're doing it. Kylie, you can jump in as well, too. You know, if you hear whatever sounds, you know, you can speak on it. You know, we're going to give you a shot at what you're hearing as well. All right. So, real quick, this the Guess Who. All right. So, hop in the comments, everybody. Tell us what you think you hear. What popped out at you? What instruments, what sounds, what textures, what colors, whatever. However you want to express it. 808, rim shot, reverse cymbal. Yeah, you are definitely close. It's definitely, all three of those are going on. Oh, my man Joey Bless hopped in like, bing, yeah, I got it. Cello, that's good. All right, real quick, Kali, tell us something you heard on there, brother. Then we're gonna hop back in the comments to see who else has something to share on what they heard.
Hey, so I ain't never really been a big. I don't know a lot about music. I ain't never really taught how to read music and hear sounds and different instruments and none of that. That's real different for me. But I know I heard a good little drum roll in there, and then what do you call those things when you like at the end those little cymbals or something that you might tap on? I heard that. I mean, I heard that one. I can call that out. If that can count for one. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. You did hear some cymbals shake, and you did hear drum rolls. Definitely live drum rolls going on. By the way, word to DC DMV area. We are a live music town. You did. Yeah. It's a particular instrument that's being played in there that I'm hoping somebody heard it and will guess it. I'm gonna share it and give it away if nobody gets it in a minute, but I'm hoping somebody gets it because it's actually an instrument that I'll give you a hint. There's somebody on this chat that plays this instrument. Talk to us, good
anybody,
people.
anyone.
Anybody. Is there one? Is there one?
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, AJ. Anybody hopped in on that? Somebody listening. That's not the instrument I'm talking about, but that is in there. Wow.
Boom.
My man picked up on the percussion and the
Dang.
It's in there. Bingo.
Oh wow. My man on it.
Yeah. Turntable. I wanted that to be put out there because word to the R2BB and word to the hip hop culture and word to the power of urban art. You know, there's still some institutions today who do not consider the turntable to be an instrument.
Wow, I heard that too. I didn't know what would make that sound though. I'm glad I just learned that knowledge, man. Because I was hearing that sound, I was like, I wonder what makes that noise.
Yeah, it's a turntable. Word to my man DJ Shane on here. Shane, I don't know if you're still on here. I know you might have had to pop out because you've been moving and shaking, but if you're still on here, I had to highlight that because my brother DJ Shane is dope at what he do. The scratching, the cutting, and the mix and everything. By the way, for anybody listening, please acknowledge and understand that the turntable is an instrument all by itself. It's not just an aesthetic or a texture to add to other instruments. It's an actual instrument. It's an actual art form that it comes with, being able to where to scratch, where to cut, where to put it in a pocket if you're playing with a band or track, so that you're not all over the place just trying to show how it's like. A DJ that just scribbles and cuts all over the place over a beat, to me, is like a musician who just learned every theoretical note that you could. I love that. I appreciate that comment, Joey.
Buckets in the can.
Good thing their opinion doesn't count. We have always had the knack for making instruments out of anything. Yes, we have. Word to black and brown people. That's what we do, y'all. We take construction boots and turn it into Timberlands. We take
buckets
Polo,
and cans.
a brand that wasn't even really made for us and turn it into a style. We take food from nothing and turn it into love. I mean, I could keep going. Hello.
We could even bring it to the fact that our city is something out of nothing, because it was out of something because it was land that began with Maryland and Virginia and created DC.
Yep, absolutely. And word to the fact that a lot of what we have created in this town, we created it before anybody else did because we had to figure something out that nobody else had figured out. Yes, indeed. So, definitely, you know what I mean? Just like respect the fact that it's an instrument. And I say that because, like, for example, I have a homie, a fellow arts educator homie up in Boston right now, who did a post about his frustration around the fact that the institution has not fully supported the curriculum that he has been trying to establish around turntable DJs. Like they have an actual class, but they teach turntable DJing and mixing. Now, what's significant about this is that was possible because during our era when we were in school together, we formed the first band that ever had drums, bass, horns, singers, guitars, and a DJ in it. So now the new fight is getting them to provide funding that further supports this. Now, the reason why I want to speak to this significantly is because in our town, one of the things that I really feel like needs to be further solidified, further fortified, and supported and undergirded again, that we did have at one point, that unless you kind of tied into charter programs or certain initiatives that cost certain money, it's not as plentifully offered, is the teaching of instruments. One of the reasons why this town has been so dope at live music is because almost all of us learned how to play some type of instrument, and even on a small level growing up. Like, even if you didn't go into doing music as a profession, when you was in school, you was learning a little recorder, in elementary school, even if you ain't never go into being a flute player, you know a little bit just from me. I don't know if I know all the notes, but I remember if I blow into this little flute, it go hoo hoo hoo, and you start learning little different things and the different sounds and what it makes as you move your fingers off the little holes. You are learning an instrument.
Mm-hmm. Hey, how about this one? This is gonna be different. It ain't an instrument, but like beatboxing, and what else we used to do when younger, when we was teaching each other music, beating on the tables in the classroom.
Yeah, that's,
you know what I'm saying? Those was
human...
ways we was teaching each other music.
Yeah,
our own culture music, learning. Because it's a certain beat we was hitting. You know, the go-go's, the go-go swang on the beat on the table. So, I remember growing up with growing up with the crew, and we teaching each other that stuff, and then with the beatbox, like boom, yeah, that's our own little thing.
Yes, word to Rozelle, word to DJ Scratch, the human DJ. You know what I'm saying? Word to the whole Roots crew, because they were one of the first, besides the go-go funk element of music as a genre, who showed people how to create instruments out of their bodies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The sounds that come from in your body itself is an instrument.
That's wow.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I like that. I like how we bring that up, man.
That is a divine, God-given gift. When you discuss why, for example, for anybody who has babies, small children, don't get mad at your babies when they what they're doing is discovering sound.
I know that's right.
They're discovering rhythm. They're discovering texture and color and energy and expression and light, because that's where that comes from. Like word to the song from now on, when I said, the line in my barn when I was telling the story about my mom, and I said, I reckon what she tried to teach me is that life's a prism. If you ever taken a piece of glass or a clear object that can reflect light through it and put it in front of the sun, catch that. That was a double entendre. Put that in front of the sun. There's an array of color that comes through that is out of this world.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on which angle you set the glass in front of the sun, you can see the different colors kind of bling, 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 bling.
And what shape? What shape is a prism? It's a triangle.
I wouldn't even think it. I missed that one. I missed that, man.
He set it up. He said, as soon as he said prism, I was like, he set it up.
Wow, I didn't even see that.
That ain't no coincidence.
Right, it's a triangle.
That's right.
If you notice, even when you take an object that's round and put it in front of light, the way the light shines the colors off of that object is in triangles.
It is in triangles. That you bring that up, man. That's wild.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Good
There's
stuff.
a
Right there.
three-dimensional connectivity between light, color, and sound.
Wow. That's crazy.
If you can see and you are illuminated into understanding or mindset that represents the divine, then you can emanate from your being a color that will brighten the whole world.
I love it.
And you can release a sound that will bring revival and reconciliation to broken places.
Powerful stuff right there, my brother. And that's what that's on back just to jump into that real quick is the stuff that we doing, man. Like the stuff that, I had a conversation today about making sure that the things that we doing has a purpose. You know what I mean? Impactful purpose. Because you can even tend to yourself start thinking like the things that you're doing, like if you don't hear a lot about it, or you don't see, no movement on it, you really start to question yourself, like, man, what am I really doing this for real? You know what I mean? And you gotta think to yourself deeply when you see those changes in places. I'm gonna use an example. Like I teach inner city children cooking classes, right? And I had gave out some curriculum last year. And then today was day one for this year. And I asked anybody, did they know anything about what I taught last year? And like 5 or 6 students took to it and they was able to tell me. So that was confirmation for me to let me know that even when I'm thinking to myself, like, what am I really truly doing this for? A purpose. You just don't ever know who's thinking, who's watching, who's listening, or who's really getting that. And don't think just because you don't be hearing or you don't know about it, that it ain't making no movements and making no impact. So I just wanted to throw that in there, is why we doing things and making sure we doing things for a purpose. And that just spins right on into this whole thing that we got coming up. And as you ready to unreveal that, you let me know, because I got a lot of pieces I want to hit on that with you about real quick.
Okay, yeah. So let's jump into that real quick. Let's talk about some of the new initiatives, one of which is the one that we about to highlight. So recently, I don't know if y'all caught that. If y'all didn't, go back and check it out. I did an interview on one of the platforms that Kylie hosts called "What's Up with That," and we touched on some of those things, and some of these other areas. We dealt with childhood trauma. We dealt with overcoming different things, and we talked about different community initiatives. So one of the new things that we've been working on as we've been, learning each other and partnering together in community outreach and empowerment and spiritual empowerment and cultural empowerment is how to highlight and bring together different people from different walks of life to not only celebrate Black history, but to celebrate kingdom excellence and to celebrate a space and a platform in which we can all come together, unified for a greater purpose.
Hey, this is some serious stuff right here.
Yeah. So, Kylie, tell the people what's the name of the event, and let's talk about it some more, and then tap in on some of the things you want us to know around why this is significant.
Okay. All right. So, first off, everybody, this event right here is just now being developed as we speak. I mean, it's already set in stone. But this Saturday, 2/25 from 12 p.m. until it's done, we're going to have the first ever Kingdom Street Rap meets Urban Street Rap. Not a competition, an introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have round for round. We're going to have 2 teams, a Team A and a Team B side, which is your Kingdom side, and then you're going to have your secular or your regular rapper side. And what's going to happen is we're going to bring up both, one from each side, and bring them up and let them perform their music. When they're done, and get a round of applause. The other one performs, round of applause, and they're going to shake their hands. You got to understand that this is the thing we're trying to do, is show unity and show togetherness, and trying to break bonds and barriers, and with different genres of music and different outlooks on how music is looked at. So we're going to have a shake of hands, and then everybody applause and congratulate the introduction. And that's round one. And we're going to have speakers in between. And that's how the event's going to pretty much flow. Like I said, it's not a competition. It's an introduction. We're not trying to, be better than one another. We're just trying to introduce what we do, what our styles is. And it came to me because, on the secular side, it's a lot of positive movement going on out there in some secular rappers, instead of it all be shoot 'em up, bang, bang, drill music and all that other stuff, twerking music, all of that. some brothers are reaching out here trying to make a movement and try to be about positive and creating positivity for the people or whatever. And with that being said, is that type of music don't get really uplifted a lot on that side. If it ain't got the twerk and don't got all that filth in it, it ain't gonna really get a lot of play. So that to me was real special. But then I was like my Kingdom rappers, my Kingdom brothers, not running with them. Their music is just as hot and is vicious lyrically, beat wise and all of that, just like that. But it ain't no cussing, it ain't none of that, and it's about God. You know what I mean? It's about Yahshua. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that it would be a good way to bring these two together to just introduce each other, just to be like, oh, okay, then maybe we can start intertwining that more and more. Now, I'll let you get into more as we get to it further, is what's not an underlying, like, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the word of God exposed in different areas in music and things like that. So that's what that's about. And that's like the showcase part of it, but that's a small piece of this event. All right, remember it's Black History Month. And in between this event, while it's running round for round, I'm gonna put a pause on and I'm gonna introduce a brother of mine up to the stage, and his name is Ray Gideon Peoplez. And he's gonna be coming in with a Black History Month segment. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give him the floor and I'm gonna let him, highlight him and what he's doing with the movement for the people. Also, I like him to be able to, definitely share about his roots. You know what I mean? Because I got to learn a little bit about his roots and why he's such an activist and why he's doing what he's doing for the people. And then he's gonna come back in with that wailing song, and I ain't gonna let too much out there, but this is how I depict it going. I'm gonna let the spirit guide him. But that's just one piece. Then we're gonna come back in. We're gonna go round for round, as long as we can go with different, rappers from the Kingdom side, from the urban side. Have some more motivational speakers, and we're gonna close it all up in unity. A big show put on at the end from DJ Mellow T, which is the Mellow Slide. We're gonna come together in unity, and I'm gonna ask everybody to participate. And after we all do the Mellow Slide, this is DC. This is another DC's finest, y'all. This goes to return to Black Broadway, podcast, because DJ Mellow, his brother, DJ Flex, I don't know his brother's name, but anyway, DJ Mellow T got the Mellow Slide out there, man. It's vicious, coming straight from the roots. He did the Ben's Chili Bowl joint, the Don't Mute DC joint, man. He's all over it, killing it for the people, for the movement. And he's gonna do that. And after that, we're gonna bring everybody together, and we're gonna show unity to the people, man. We're all gonna be applause one and the other. We're all gonna be shaking hands up there and just introducing it. And that's what I have overall vision of the big event coming up, which is on 2/25 Saturday. Y'all, please come check it out. Come support, man. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to interact different people from different walks of life, different races, colors, creeds, religions. It don't matter. Uplift the movement. And then, last but not least, it's a twist that I'm gonna put into it. Ray, we talked about it. You want to give it to him and let him. We're gonna do. You're gonna take it not only. All right. So we want to uplift and want to let people know that we don't want our forefathers' blood to go in vain. Go ahead and break it down a little bit further, Ray Gideon. Go ahead, man. I'll pass it to you, my brother.
That's important. So here's the thing. On a cultural level for Black and brown people, now we know as it relates to the spiritual empowerment that our focus is on pointing people back to the source of everything that is divine, which is the Most High. Yahshua is our source, Yahweh, Adonai, Abba, different forms of understanding the character of God, and how he relates to his creation. But even moreover, as it relates to our history and our culture as a people and what we have overcome, there are people who bled and died for us to have access to freedom and empowerment.
Come on.
And manifestation of destiny.
Yeah.
And so it is a slap in the face of our ancestors.
Come on now, talk to them, Ray.
If we do not take advantage of what was laid before us and run with the torch.
Come on, everybody. We out here running around here wilding out, man. It didn't happen for that, man.
Yes, indeed, brother. It's important for our generations. There's a passage that says that what the inheritance that you establish is for your children and your children's children.
Talk to him.
So inheritance and legacy, all of these things are created for generational wealth, for generational empowerment, for generational thriving, for generational manifestation, not just from one generation to the next and then there's a plug or a breakage or a blockage.
Right.
So we have a responsibility, those who are old enough to now carry torches, have a responsibility to now show these youngers behind us how, first of all, who we are, then second of all, what is the torch, and then how to carry it.
I know that's right.
Who we are, it goes back to mindset. What is a torch? That's the aspect of what in which we can make impact through our shared identity. And then understanding how to shift perspective in a way that allows us to not get in our own way.
Wow. Strong stuff right there, my brother. Strong stuff. And if you think about it with this, with the event that we're talking about, the great event, man, like it's definitely part of the remap too. Like everything that we do is called creating positive spaces. I mean, we are really trying to push for peace and prosperity. The only way we can do that is like-minded brothers coming together, you know what I mean, and really standing with each other. See, listen, y'all, strength is in the numbers, man. All right, strength is in the numbers. We got to band together and stand together in unity and really, really make a change. And we already see from our forefathers and the people before us that stood in unity and stood strong, things made a difference. You know what I mean? Things made a difference. So we can start coming together like that. So I encourage you all to come out this 225 and get some of this, just this knowledge, this information, some of this intertwinement of different cultures and different people and everything. It's a lot of people coming. There's a lot of different things that's going to be transpiring. A lot of motivational speakers to be coming, talking about what we're trying to do. And this is just this is only one of many to come. You know what I'm saying? Look, Kingdom Street Rap meets Urban Street Rap going city to city. Be more next. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna take this thing to another city because we're trying to intertwine. And like I said, it all goes back to the 3 points of the triangle, man. If you really think about it, we remapping here. We're changing mindsets, aspects, and perspectives of how we view different types of music, kingdom music, secular music, how we interact with each other, all that, man. It's all together right there, all in a nutshell. Man, y'all please tune in. It's going to be fire. Gotta give a shout out to Bishop Andre Gray for letting us use the Agape House. Coming out there on 17th Street this weekend. Really looking out for the people. Y'all got to understand, free food, free drinks, for free live entertainment, man. This is for the people, y'all. Like, why wouldn't y'all want to come out here and support something like this, man? And then the Stones House crew will be in the building. Ray Giddy and the whole crew in the building. DJ Mellow T. I got my man Von Dre, Naive, and then ET from the No Slide Zone. They coming out, man, performing, man. This is going to be a really, really good thing. Y'all stay tuned for this joint, man. It's one you're not going to want to miss, y'all, for real. Straight up. Yeah, for the movement, man. It's for the movement, for real. It's really a big movement kind of push, for real.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I want to speak to two things on that real quick. For my folks who are believers, you know, in the power of the Most High and divine and in Yahshua and in all the different things that come from the Creator that you know, gives us identity and gives us validity in who we are and empowers us to walk in an intensity that will make lasting impact. What we cannot any longer do is sit on our religious holy mountain and wait for other people to show up to where we at. What we have to do is create platforms like this and like what Kali is doing to engage people. Mm-hmm. Yahshua did not say, hey, y'all, come meet me at the temple. And if you decide to show up, then I'll give you food. Then I'll give you resources. Then I'll teach you how to fish. Then I'll give you spiritual healing. No, he went outside. He was outside. Matter of fact, most of what you see recorded about Yahshua HaMashiach's ministry, which, by the way, for any of my black nationalists who want to say that believing in Yahshua is a white man's religion, the brother was walking in black skin while he was on earth.
Come on now.
Well,
hey, they nomads, man. They wander, man. They moving around That's the original roots of our people, man. They wanderers and nomads. Like they ain't sit still too much. Like they met up under tents and stuff like that. Guess what they doing? They kept it moving, man. Spreading more word about God, man. They kept it moving. Like out there in them trenches.
And also on the flip side, I want all of my street cats to know, for those of you all who think Kingdom MCs ain't got the heat, all you need to do is just press play on most of the music that we've been dropping lately. And
for sure.
You will find out that it's a myth.
It's real talk.
It's a lie.
Or just come out on 225 and you can try your hand, because after we done doing what we doing, I might open the flow up, and if I do, if you feel like you want to jump up there and see you want to mess with some of them kingdom rappers, then hey, have at it, man. Just good luck. Just make sure
we can get a cycle going. I'm trying to tell you, the brand of MCs that I'm speaking about who are Kingdom, we ain't no and I ain't knocking nobody, whoever they are, whoever they aren't, but just to keep it gangster on understanding what this really is. We ain't just church going dudes who decided it was something cool to do to engage the young people. We genuinely love, breathe, eat, sleep hip hop for real. And we just so happen to decide to walk a particular path that engages such a divine entity as such. Like, for example, and to my Kingdom folk, you ain't got to show up to an event that may not necessarily be sponsored by someone who is Kingdom and be like, hey, just so you know, I'm a Kingdom MC and I'm about to do Kingdom MC music. That's corny. Just be yourself, show up and be fire at what you do, and your belief system and your way of life that has enlightened your path will naturally show up in what you're speaking on. You don't see 5%ers showing up being like, hey, I'm a 5% hip hopper, so just so you know, I'm about to talk about 5%, you know, I'm about to hit the 120. You feel me, God? They just show up and be dope at what they do. And it's like word to Wu-Tang, word to Nas, word to Pro Righteous Teachers, word to KRS-One. You have a lot of MCs, like you said, who are on the conscious level, speaking truth and gems, empowerments, and even touching on biblical kingdom principles, some of them without even knowing it. Some of them are fully aware of what they're sharing.
For sure.
But what I'm saying is they don't show up to the event announcing that they're there to share that. They just share it from a dope perspective of having art that the creator has given them the gift and the talent and the ability to do. Allow your life to naturally just be what it is. When you try to create this label for making people have to receive it in this box that you think is necessary, then it cuts people off from being able to connect with what the Most High intended for you to receive and for us to share with one another. And also, word to some of our elders and ancestors that come before, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, they weren't beefing with each other, by the way.
They definitely wasn't.
Same movement, standing on same front lines, same people from different walks. So the power of us coming out of these boxes and these silos, as you put it earlier, AJ, is an empowerment tool to bring us together in a way that will surpass our different walks of life. And then we allow Yahshua, or we allow the Most High to decide how he decides to divinely connect us all and bring forth truth. Gospel means good news, y'all.
I love it. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, real quick though. I want to leave y'all with something real fast, and that's with that change. All right. You know, we all trying to create change. We all want to make change, and like-minded individuals come together and we make these events, and we put a lot into these events, ladies and gentlemen. We really create them, and they out there. I hear a lot of this talk about a lot of people want change. And when we create these events, I look out in the crowd sometimes, I don't be seeing a lot of participation. So I'm gonna say it like this: if you really want change, you gotta really think about it. The change really starts with you. Take a look at yourself in the mirror and be like, all right, if you want change so bad, change with you. Start with you. Change yourself and start trying to get out there and support your brothers, because that's where the real true change is going to start at right there. Is you got to get yourself out there with the mindset and the aspect and the perspective that if I want real true change, it starts with me. And with me changing, I'm gonna go out here and help my brothers and them and go out there and stand with them, because strength is definitely in the numbers, my brothers and sisters, man. We out here, we gotta be unified and stand together alone, man. And I just want to throw that out there real quick, y'all. I want us to be able to stay on here with y'all a lot longer, my brother. Time's pressing on me right now. I gotta really go take care of something. 3 a.m. gonna come up quick.
Hey, listen, brother. Listen, you ain't the only one. We about to jump off right in with you. That was
okay. Well, shoot. Let me let you close us out there.
So listen, Return to Black Broadway podcast show. We really hope you all have enjoyed the segments and the conversation and all the things that we've been expressing and sharpening iron with one another in. If you all are not tied up, please come out this Saturday, the 25th. What time, brother?
12 until.
12 until. You know, so that means you can, if you can't come at 12, pop in at 1. If you can't come at 1, pop in at 2. If you can't come at 2, pop in at 3.
We're gonna be running. I mean, now as far as the showcase itself, I'm gonna say we're gonna start the actual showcase of the round for round Kingdom Street Rap meets Urban Street Rap, probably close around to 132-ish. But overall, from 12 to like before the showcase start, man, it's gonna, like I said, music. It's going to be, events and games, people going on out there. There's a lot of speakers going on. And then after the showcase is done, man, we're going to have music and we're going to have fire pits out there. You know what I mean? We got the kids coming out, so it ain't just an adult vibe. So bring the youngest. Got my kids coming out there. We probably be doing the marshmallows, s'mores, and all that over the fire pits. So it's going to be a real big bonding, unity type of thing, man. It ain't just a showcase and rapping and all that. Nah, like we really about to be out here loving on one another, man. Like introducing each other, loving on one each other, chilling with the kids, and just positive space, man. Pushing for peace and prosperity. That's all I got for y'all, man.
That is beautiful, brother. We thank you. We appreciate you, Kali, for coming on, man.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me.
Real quick before we close out, AJ, is there anything you wanted to tap in and share, or you wanted to say, or you want to ask, or whatever, brother, before we go ahead and close out?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Everything that I even could have possibly asked has already been answered. You know what I'm saying? Specifically the thing about the triangle. You know what I'm saying? That was my main thing that I wanted to know about. And I mean, it just really comes around to divine and God and the Most High when it comes around to the triangle, because all I can think of is Trinity.
Yeah. You know the Holy Three, the Holy Three, baby, the Holy Three. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name, baby. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, man. We really appreciate you, brother. Absolutely. And thank you, AJ, for that. That was the seal and the stamp.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, and thank you, brother Ramsey.
Thank you to all the people that interacted tonight, man. Thank you for the interaction. That's what it's all about, man. Yes, God bless you all.
Yeah, and Joe, you right. He is already on the same page. Yeah, Kali is actually one of the brothers that's already tapped in, bro. We gonna real soon you gonna get a chance to meet Kali. Matter of fact, if you and baby boy ain't got nothing going on Saturday,
come on through, my brother. Come on through. We definitely off the vouch and the validation I hear from my brother right here, and we definitely got room for you, my brother. Always. We work something out.
So, having said that, your boy Ray Gideon Peoplez, aka Peoplez the Dapper Demon Clapper, one time, and my main man AJ Throwback, the Return to Black Broadway podcast show. We have had a ball tonight. I hope everybody is leaving the situation feeling inspired and empowered to do different things to shift our mindsets, aspects, and perspectives.
Yeah.
You dig?
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We're going to sign off right here with this acceleration point. We going up. Go.
God is great, y'all. Stay safe.